let's begin the meeting. Note that a quorum is present, and I'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on our agenda is the approval of the consent agenda, which consists of approving the agenda for this meeting and the minutes for the May 9, 2022 regular meeting. Any additions or corrections to any of those items? If not, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second. Oh, go ahead. Chuck.
Somebody, you pick.
Chuck.
Chuck.
No. You have to move fast around here. That's good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I see no citizens to make comment. Am I correct?
That is correct.
All right, then we will move ahead to the highlight of our meetings, the finance report.
Hey, look. Now you scared her off. So in front of you is the balance sheet as of May 31st, 2022, showing all that. All right, a profit and loss as well from May 2022. Some interest, there's some points coming in as far as income-wise, you know, $18,000 from Act 137, $7,200 still coming in from the Housing Authority. We're still trying to capture some CDBG administrative cost, as you can imagine, with the city of Erie and the requirement of having to have projects at a certain point in which we pull in the money. You know, we're still trying to recoup some of that money as far as the CDBG program. Other than that, moving forward as far as the American Rescue Plan programs, LHRD as well. We submitted a budget modification for the LHRD program, really more of a programmatic administrative part to add new employees to it, since we are unable to draw any administrative funding off of those for those individuals until they are on the budget approved by HUD. So that's my explanation. April, did I miss anything? No? All right.
You see a thumbs up from April. So,
And then
questions regarding the budget? The balance sheet or the profit and loss statement, the financial report. Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the financial report?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Report of the Executive Director. Aaron.
all right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Housing rehabilitation report. We continue to move forward with the lead hazard control grant. We're processing applications. We have our two contractors that are our major lead abatement contractors pretty full right now, hoping for a good summer to get some of those projects done, trying to work that with the CDBG projects and get those under contract and mix in a lot of the other things we have going on as far as some of the city's home projects, along with the county rehabilitation. And like I said in the finance report, we're still evaluating properties under our service agreement for the Housing Authority and their lead program, doing the lead assessments out there. Right now, like I said, we still have 4 lead abatement contractors, 2 of which are not as productive as 2 of our seasoned contractors, but we're working to get them on board a little bit more and then bring on some other contractors, hopefully. So any questions on the rehabilitation report?
Just for clarification, you said there's 4 lead abatement
We have 4
contractors.
certified lead abatement contractors.
Okay.
Two have been with us for over about 6 years. The other 2 are relatively new and just not really into it at the moment, but we're working to make them a little bit more involved.
Okay.
All right, the property report?
All right, no major additions or changes. We haven't sold any properties. We've been working on The maintenance agreement or the developer's agreement that we talked about, discussed a couple months ago for the sale of vacant lots, specifically those lots on the corner of Parade and East 10th Street, prior to completing the sale of that, so that, you know, if there is an issue and they fail to develop, that we would have the ability to get those properties back. So hopefully, we met with Gene today. Hopefully we have that finalized here, and we'll be able to get that out to, you know, those individuals so we can complete those sales here before the next meeting in July. As far as blighted properties, the Blighted Property Review Committee met in April and May and blighted 9 additional properties, and we rescinded blight from 7 properties. So right now it sits at 193 properties, and there's really about 55 properties under action by the Redevelopment Authority or the Erie Land Bank at the current time.
Questions regarding the property report? If not, a motion to approve the property report.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second. I defer to my
Close.
colleague here.
Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Attorney Sundberg, the solicitor's report.
We're revisiting the 3. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, board.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
We're
solicitor.
still back. We're still back. The ongoing saga with the 3 properties, 2708 Downing, Zach Associates. All the briefs have been filed with the Commonwealth Court. I'm waiting to hear for an argument date. I'm really hoping that they're going to let me do that argument by Zoom. Don't necessarily want to drive down to Pittsburgh to argue that, but in any event, I'll do what I need to do. I don't know what the Commonwealth Court is doing as far as whether they're in person or whether it's Zoom. I see on TV, and I want to say C-SPAN, but that's not the right one. The local government channel, they have arguments going on and people are in person, so I'd really not want to drive down 79 and back and forth on this, but if necessary, we'll do that. The other one is 405 East 7th Street. This is James Watford. Our brief is due at the end of this month. It'll be filed probably tomorrow to get it done ahead of time, and then we'll wait to hear on that. There's been no surprises on either one of those cases, so I'm confident that they will uphold the decision of the trial court to confirm that the preliminary objections are to be dismissed. And again, as I spoke with Aaron and Mindy today, what that means is once they uphold the trial court, then we'll go back for the hearing on the valuation, and then that hopefully will be it. And then last but not least is 1615 Parade Street. Nothing has, he didn't file anything on this, so he filed an appeal to the Commonwealth Court. He did not file statement of issues on appeal. He has not filed anything, so I'm waiting for a dismissal of that, but somehow it has been shirt-tailed in with the Watford property at 405 East 7th Street. So I'm not exactly certain why that's still hanging out there in limbo, but I'm sure that that's going to be dismissed. And I think that Aaron has an update later today on that property or on what the condition is of that property. So we're moving full steam ahead on that property. So that's really the 3 stragglers that are still hanging out there. So that's really the report on those. So that's all really I have going. Okay? Any questions on those? I'll keep you posted.
Solicitor,
Yes.
you indicated on item number 3, he filed an appeal.
He did file an appeal.
Is there a deadline on that? For them to enter anything into the
Yeah,
courts?
it's a good question. There is a procedure and a protocol to be followed, none of which has been followed by him. So I don't know whether, and Jay, I'll look for some input from you. I don't know whether to contact the clerk at the Commonwealth Court and say, hey, are you looking for something from me? A one-sentence motion asking for a dismissal of the appeal, or whether they do that on their own. I keep waiting for them to say, it's just been unilaterally dismissed, but at this point, nothing has happened. So I guess I'll reach out to the clerk for the Commonwealth Court and say, hey, look, this is just a straggler out there. He has not done anything other than to file his notice of appeal. Are you looking for me to be proactive, or should I just sit tight and wait to hear from you? So I'll find that out this week. I keep hoping every day to open up that order from the Commonwealth Court dismissing the appeal and remanding it back to the trial court, but it has not come through. So I'll find out.
Okay.
I'll find out.
Thank you.
That's right. Thank you. Any questions? We're good? Jay, if you find out whether they're doing argument in person and down in the Commonwealth Court, let me know.
I'll check.
But I do see it, and again, it's not C-SPAN, but it's the local. But in any event, we'll see. I'll keep you posted. We'll receive notification on whether they're going to be argued or whether they're just going to rule on the briefs. Thank you.
Okay. General updates, information.
All right. Try to. As far as the auditors have been in the office the last couple of weeks, they finished up last week as far as going through the Redevelopment Authority and working on our 2021 audit. Provided them some information, gave them some backup, answered a lot of questions. Everything went fairly well. They're working on it. They thought they would be able to have it done by this month, but they more than likely said they would have it ready for the July meeting, so we'll have that completed audit for the board in the month of July. As far as the Erie Land Bank, right now we have 22 properties that will be demolished this year as soon as we get some approvals on some demolition bids next week. Then we'll add on the 25 properties we're looking to acquire at that point. Right now there's 4 properties by the land bank out for developer agreements in an effort of doing some kind of information seeking, getting some data. The land bank board wants to see what kind of interest there is under private development to enter into agreements to develop those properties and rehabilitate those, as we continue to work on our side of evaluating costs to rehabilitate if the land bank were to rehabilitate and then offer out for sale. So we're kind of exploring both those options and see what the board would like to go at that point and see the appetite for developers out in the community on those 4 properties. Any questions there? Just to touch on Gene's comment there, 1615 Parade Street, one of the ones that filed an appeal with the Commonwealth Court. The owner of that property went out 2 weeks ago and took all the windows out of the property that he had put in. They were newer windows, they were salvaged windows, but he had went through and changed the window sizes, put those windows in. He went in one afternoon, took all those windows out. The city building inspector got a call about what was going on, stopped into our office because it's in our name. So we went out and got a contractor to go out and board the windows up. I mean, it didn't help that night EPD got called to the property. They chased an individual into the property and had to remove him. So we got that property boarded up, and hopefully it'll remain secure until such time as we can finalize the demolition on that once it's out of the court's hands. I had mentioned last month the weatherization program had reached out to us, and we had a meeting with them. They work currently in Erie County with the Housing Authority for the county project, and then they, like I said, they worked with a company or a group out of Meadville for the city of Erie, and that's the group that doesn't want to do it in the city of Erie anymore. So they first reached out to the Erie County Housing Authority to see if they would be interested in doing work within the city of Erie. So they're working on their end, but then I've had conversations with the Erie County Housing Authority just to see if it would be in our best interest to partner with them and just help facilitate intake, and they would handle the programmatic side of it as far as the actual completion of the work. So they're sending over some financial data and some information as far as what they get and what they receive and cost-wise, so we can kind of evaluate really what would be the best use of the authority in our staff time, whether it would be for us to be the recipient of the funding or just kind of be a sub-recipient under the county housing authority for the city of Erie. Given that our right now, the thought for if the housing authority, the county housing authority, were to continue to administer and take on the city, we would just provide really just referrals for our clients into their system and just basically hand out some information. So I'm still exploring that. They're supposed to get back to the state as far as a decision on whether or not they want to take on that program. And of course, they'll probably look to see whether we would want to be partnered with that before they make that decision. Questions?
Looks good. Good.
And then the last thing is we finally finalized the Coastal Resource Management Program Coastal Zone Grant. It's a $30,000 grant to the Redevelopment Authority to complete the development landscape plan for the East Bayfront Greenway. The City Council at their last meeting approved City of Erie officials to appropriate $1.5 million of the American Rescue Plan to the Redevelopment Authority for the East Bayfront Greenway Trail project. So we'll work with the City of Erie to finalize that, amend our subrecipient agreement, and create a ninth program under our ARP housing plan to include that East Bayfront plan. The thought there is it's primarily focused on acquisition of blighted properties and acquisition of properties to rehabilitate. So it fits well within what the Redevelopment Authority is currently doing. So we'll work to get that agreement finalized here. That's my report.
Any questions for Aaron?
Outside of the ARPA fund part of it, what ongoing compliance requirements are attached to the coastal zone funds from the federal government?
I haven't looked through the entire agreement yet. I just got it last week. Really, it's just a reimbursement grant for the cost of the development of the plan. So, we'll RFP for a landscape architect to come in and create the plan and then submit for the reimbursement at that point.
Thanks.
Additional questions? All right, then we'll move on to unfinished and new business, and the first item is the blighted property acquisitions.
All right, so as part of the Erie Land Bank's 2022 work plan, it was budgeted in there to acquire 24 properties through condemnation and the Redevelopment Authority as part of that plan. In front of you is a list of 25 properties that we have identified for the Land Bank, and the Land Bank Board did approve at their May meeting. The City of Erie Planning Commission approved the designation of blight on these properties at their May 17th meeting. So now we're seeking approval from the Redevelopment Authority Board to acquire these properties on behalf of the Erie Land Bank from the City of Erie's blighted property list as designated by the City of Erie Planning Commission and the Blighted Property Review Committee.
Are these, I'm sure they're primarily demos. Are there any here that are not going to be demos?
There is two good candidates for rehabilitation, possibly a third. The appraiser seems to think one property has a decent shot at rehabilitation. There's another one up on Van Buren. Mindy, which was the one that the appraiser? 11th Street? Anyway, so Van Buren might be a decent property. The one, 1319 Parade Street, which is a commercial storefront on Parade Street, it's potentially a decent candidate. The roof is showing some signs of collapse in the back, but structurally in the front it appears to be good. As we get inside, and that ultimately changes the thought process as well. So there's at least 2 or 3 on here that for sure we hopefully can do some rehabilitation. There might be others once we're able to evaluate them. We've thought the opposite sometimes, and then we've been pleasantly surprised the opposite other times. So Which one? 23rd Street. 855? Okay, yeah, 855 had the appraiser come back with a value on that property because of its condition.
Any additional questions regarding the list or the photo album of these lovely properties? If not, do we have a motion to approve acquisition?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Housing plan update.
All right. So update on the housing plan, the Healthy Homes program is pretty much 100% ready to roll. We're going to put out a press release later this week that we're opening up the program. The application will be forwarded up to the city for placement on their ARP website for the general public to download and print out. We'll start distributing roughly 100 copies out to individuals who are on our current waiting list for ARP housing program eligible type activities. So we're going to get that program rolling here in the next week or so. And we've already done and evaluated 3 or 4 projects just to try to vet out the process and the program and make sure that all the pieces are working and then the paperwork is flowing right. So we're confident that that program is going to get off and running pretty smoothly. We're going to look here later this week and in the next little refinement on the revolving loan program. We're going to look at the rental assistance loan program first, try to get that one out the door. We got the guidelines tuned in with the Erie Neighborhood Growth Partnership a couple months ago, so we just got to work on the guidelines and the application and hopefully get that program up and running sometime July, early August is the plan there. And then we're going to look at the Housing Initiative program along with the new production grant program. There's some interest in that, specifically toward our redevelopment of those Erie Land Bank properties and potential developers needing a loan that they would not be able to get somewhere else. So we're going to look at tooling that loan program to facilitate the rehabilitation of those properties.
You mentioned applications, Aaron. How many do we have already on file?
Applications?
Yeah, for the, yeah.
We have probably well over 100 waiting list program screening applications. We didn't really, nobody has filled out the actual Healthy Homes application as of yet because we were still developing it. But we utilize what we call a program screening application. It gets the majority of their information, gets us a good snapshot of their property and their needs and their demographic income information at a high level. And then we're going to, like I said, forward them out, mail them out 100 applications to those individuals to complete and return to the office.
Okay, thank you.
Additional questions? All right. Moving on to election of board secretary. I imagine this is occasioned by the departure of Kathy.
That is correct. And as Assistant Treasurer Secretary, Kevin has filled in and completed the paperwork with the bank to facilitate signing checks in the interim until the election of the Secretary is official.
Well, it seems logical to me that he's already on as a signatory. I mean, now traditionally we would elect Rose because she's not here to defend herself.
Yeah, I told her that when she called me this afternoon.
However, under these circumstances, is there a motion to elect Kevin as our new secretary?
So moved.
In a second.
Second. Move that nominations be closed.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Don't let it go to your head.
Thank you to my friends over there.
And part of his role is to plan the summer picnic, as I understand.
Absolutely. So we should get that moving.
All right.
All right. Also, Kathy was our member on the land bank.
That is correct. So
and so we need to replace her on the land bank. And
Land bank meetings are the third Monday of every month at 1 p.m.
Can you describe the qualities of a member that you would see?
they sit with their arms crossed.
What types of skills or what kind of thought?
You have the entire skill set, and you know it. Because you were formerly the executive
Yes.
director / president / boss at Hands.
I would volunteer. What are the meetings again?
The third Monday of every month at 1 p.m. in city council chambers.
Yeah, that's fine.
Uh,
Edinburgh can excuse me they'll survive.
You want to nominate him, Kev, get back out?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty, and then we have the website and client management database system update.
All right. So we, like I said last month, we had received website proposals, and then with discussions and interviews of those companies, felt that it was best to combine our search for a client management system with the development of our website. And if you've been to the Redevelopment Authority website, it was created back in 2012, and that was about the last time that anybody ever really touched it, other than updating a couple little things within it. Right now, its management system's outdated, so it's in a dire need of being refurbished. So, and then the authority kind of needed to have a client management system. Right now, like I said, we track all of our individuals on an Excel spreadsheet and can't really coordinate where things are. So when our inspector's in the office and we receive a call, you know, they're out of the office, we receive a call in the office, we can't tell them where their project is because the inspectors aren't there to answer. So client management system will help with that. So the second RFP went out May 11th, and we received 3 proposals. We met with 2 of them, WorkBot and Epic Web Studios. Out of the 2 of them, I feel confident that Epic Web Studios will provide us what we need. They were the most affordable option, but they are also probably the, Holly and I both feel probably the most qualified to develop the client management system based upon what they provided us and showed us that they have done in the past. So the resolution is to, award the contract for the website and client management system to Epic Web Studios for a lump sum fee of $21,480. Funding for this will be, majority of it will be out of the American Rescue Plan and our administrative funding, since we will be utilizing that for the intake and process of our applications. Epic has said that they'll be able to put the application up on our website. Individuals will be able to complete it online, and it will flow right into our client management system. So it will kind of cut out at least the majority of our paper applications. So, and then some of it will come from the lead hazard control program, since we do have website budget line items in the lead hazard control program as well.
Excellent. Discussion. Motion to approve the retention of Epic to do the website and client management for a fixed fee of $21,480.
So moved.
Moved, second.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, that is the end of our scheduled items. Is there anything not on the agenda that needs to be discussed before we just move on to other business?
No,
that you're
that's all
aware
I
of?
have.
Anything from any of the board members? Other business?
No.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And second.
And second. Discussion, I doubt it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
And welcome.
Thank you.
Have you had any sort of orientation?